All right. Well, just a couple updates about the server. We now have a rank system. So level 5 gets you an amateur role. You earn levels by being active and participating in the Discord, sending messages. And there's Mike.
Hello, friends.
How's it going?
Lovely. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Awesome. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
What a week, huh?
Yeah.
What were we chit-chatting about? Sorry, I missed the beginning.
I was just mentioning the new server roles that you can get rewards and special roles for being active. So level 5 gets you an amateur role, level 10 gets you a pro role. And as people keep progressing past that, it'll keep going higher. But yeah, got some fun things coming for you guys this weekend and next week in the server. So stay tuned for announcements and more of that rolling out. And one last thing, the Marshall bot is active and you can use exclamation point commands like for, and we're working on some more to answer quick questions and support issues in the server as well. So fun stuff. I'll turn it over to you.
Awesome. So what we're going to do tonight, thanks everybody for joining us. Really, really excited to talk about some of the things that happened this week. We'll just do a little bit of an around the horn. We have some folks who were on the early core contributor team and have played different roles over the past 3.5 weeks. We'll talk about kind of some updates of what we've been working on, each of us individually, and then would love to open it up to the community and the folks who are members and supporters for questions, comments, thoughts, what folks are excited about, what's working, what you're looking for. I believe, Dom, that we're either recording this or we're taking good notes such that we can filter it out to the folks who haven't been able to join us this evening or whatever time zone that you're in. So Mike Dudas, one of the folks who's been with this project since the beginning, really been just a tremendously exciting week for us. Last weekend we conducted the NFT, the member NFT sale, which basically grants folks perks, community benefits, and governance rights, and a bunch of other things that we've talked about in the Discord, on the site, etc. And as we said in our Twitter Spaces and Discord prior to the NFT sale, basically the intent was to put us in a place where we could execute on a long-term plan to create the greatest community-governed, community-conceived golf and leisure club in the world. What we've been working on this week is great. We now have an initial set of resources, a set of community holders. I believe we're above 5,000 unique NFT holders, meaning folks who actually have governance rights, which is incredible and super exciting, and really appreciate everybody's support, enthusiasm to participate in this wonderful project, and something that is going from experiment to reality really rapidly. The week has been spent number of different ways, and I'll let other members of the initial team talk about what they've been working on. But one of the largest parts, and Greg actually isn't, I don't believe, on stage, but Greg's been working on our DAO infrastructure and engineering. So one of the biggest things that we're working on is putting in place the infrastructure that will allow our NFT holders to begin to govern. So in other words, we'll be able to present proposals, and we'll be sharing next week an initial set of proposals, kind of a light set of work streams, different areas. We've talked about this previously, but things from sales and marketing, operations, online, gaming and experience, etc., where we will be able to nominate folks who are working in all of the different channels. And there are a number, that Cooper has talked about and we can talk about tonight that are showing incredible promise, where we have just incredible emerging communities within the larger LinksDAO space. And basically the goal here is to we're not going to move forward as an amorphous group of 13,000 folks. Like, we need to organize, call them pods or guilds or different functional areas for people to execute. So anyway, we've been working on developing that infrastructure. We're choosing what tooling we're going to use. If you're interested in being a part of that discussion, a lot of it's happening in the developer channels. I'm just looking to find out what those channels are. We can talk about that. I don't have the name off the top of my head, but basically, there's some dev chat. So folks are talking about, what we can use to implement some of this, things like, treasury, proposals, and voting. Okay. So that's been exciting. In addition, we have had just incredible inbound from the golf industry at large, from celebrities, from athletes, from really meaningful people who can, we believe, support the mission of LinksDAO. We were really fortunate to secure. It looks like Greg just jumped in and requested to speak. Perfect. So he can talk a little bit about this when we do the Around the Horn and give more specificity about what we're doing on the DAO tooling side and infrastructure side. But I'll just wrap up my quick high level. So we secured some early press, which was exciting. We're not overdoing it. We wanted people to know that we exist, such that more club members could join us. And if they chose to buy an NFT and become part of the governing body, wonderful. And that's something that we want to get the word out, encourage folks to join us to understand what we're building here. We're in that sort of, again, early emergent phase over the next couple of weeks. We're not going to be doing a tremendous amount of focused outbound press moving forward. We did a quick burst, got some great coverage. We have a few podcasts coming out over the next week or two, like Alexis Ohanian's and other folks. But we're just focused now on core execution and core distribution of responsibility. Okay. And so we feel good about the pace, and also everybody need a little bit of a breather earlier in the week after like a 3-week, over the holiday sprint with, of course, no full-time contributors either on the, initial contributor team or the broader community. So we are extremely grateful for the contributions. I've never personally, I've worked on really high profile businesses and I've been fortunate to, and I've never in my life genuinely received the amount of positive, optimistic, thoughtful inbound that I received over the past week. And I've talked with about 10 other people involved in the project. Anybody who puts LinksDAO anywhere on their public bio, the amount of exuberant, excited inbound, it's overwhelming. So we're sorting through that. And so we're basically trying to organize that, sort through the enthusiasm, while we create the platform to allow for coherent, broad community participation in what we're building as a group here. So really exciting. And I'll stop talking now and maybe just kick it over to whoever wants to go next around the horn on updates. Maybe we'll do updates until 8:25, and then we can chat for a while with questions, Q&A.
Cool, Mike. If I can jump in real quick. Hey guys, it's Jim. So there's a number of things that we're trying to accomplish in our collective mission. Obviously, the primary goal that we all have together is to purchase a golf course and provide membership opportunities to anybody owning an NFT, and basically fundamentally change what a country club is and what it means and how it exists and how it's approached, right? That's what we're doing. There's a lot of activity on that side. So we have an enormous amount of inbound from a number of folks that own a lot of golf courses, that operate a lot of golf courses. And we're really starting to gather a lot of information in terms of what the opportunities are out in the real estate marketplace for us to actually acquire an asset and bring it to the community. All right. We're still very early days here, and it's going to be important to get some feedback, obviously, from the greater community on what you guys want. So there's going to be some polling that comes out so we can get some directional knowledge on what people are interested in the next couple of weeks. But again, we're very early here. In the meantime, one of the things we really are laser focused on is providing tangible benefits to the membership community long before we acquire, renovate, and bring a golf course online. Because as a holder, we're not only focused on that physical asset as an opportunity for everybody, we're focused on real benefits. And this is one of the amazing things about this project is we're going to be one of the first organizations that brings to bear an NFT drop that brings real life benefits. So we're going to be having a big piece of press. I think early next week is pretty much what we're focused on, with one of the major simulator companies that's going to be bringing an enormous amount of benefits, well beyond what they're bringing to the general community, to our members, right? So again, I can't speak too much about it because it's not out in the press yet. But the fact that we've been working really hard on the business development and partnership side to bring the NFT holder community really tangible in real life benefits, that the first one will be coming next week, and we're going to be doing a lot more beyond that. So it's going to be it's a super cool project that I'm so excited about, simply because we're going to be one of the first organizations and communities that's going to bring this to bear. And one last thing I just want to mention to everybody, the core contributor team, Mike mentioned a little bit, everybody's been working like 12 hours a day over the holidays and all this week. Like, there's so much enthusiasm in terms of what we're doing as a group. Like Mike mentioned, there's so many inbounds from really fascinating people that can help us to create something super special. And right now, we're just sorting through all of it so we can determine what's going to bring the most value to the community on the whole. So that's an update from my side.
Yeah, should we head over to Greg maybe next to give a little bit of an update? Let us know if you're ready, Greg, and you want to chat maybe just a little bit about what the dev, basically what's been happening in the dev channel, and all the amazing conversations you've been having and what you've been building this week.
Yeah, what's up, everyone? So I'm Greg. Quick, just background on myself. Engineer by trade. Started a company. Right now, working in the DeFi space, building a lending protocol called Goldfinch. Jumped on with LinksDAO basically on December 15th. Got a tweet, saw the tweet, and just hopped into Discord and was like, "Let's go." So really excited about what we're doing, and it's been a pretty awesome couple weeks of an experience.
And Greg is like a legend. Like, I've worked with many engineers over 20 years, but just in terms of please don't poach him directly off the podium, but just amazing. I'm really appreciative, Greg, of what you've done for the community. Just unbelievable leader.
Yeah, awesome. Stoked to be here. So basically, got through the mint on January 1st and January 2nd. And basically since then, there's been some kind of work on the LinksDAO.io current page, converting that to a static site, and kind of making it a little bit more easy to be more performant, and kind of removing some of the mint functionality that was previously in there. So that's been some great work happening right there. And we're also kind of building our own link tree type experience. We'll be able to deep link out to that from our Instagram and Twitter and whatever other kind of outlets we get in the future, which will be deep linking, to Discord and OpenSea and all the important links, as well as the legal page, I'm sure, in there. So that's been in process. The other thing I've been kind of mostly focused on myself is looking into the governance products and solutions that we kind of move forward with there. The update on that is essentially kind of started looking at a few different platforms to use, considering with Tally, considering Boardroom, looking at Snapshot, looking at where proposals will be happening. I considered Discourse, and so there's a bunch of different products out there right now, as well as some having pros and cons around treasury management or voting or on-chain governance, off-chain, gasless voting. There's all types of different features that each one offers in different ways and gives different benefits. I'm going to quickly share some bullet points. It's just some of those learnings, and I haven't even been able to type this out just because I got off the call about an hour ago. But The way our ERC20 was built, the way our ERC 721 was built, it did not extend a contract that was created by Compound called the Governor contract, also adopted by Open Zeppelin. So basically that means because we're not extending that contract, we're going to have to continue to rely on off-chain signature voting, which means that kind of goes with the snapshot.org solution, which many different protocols use on Snapshot. So basically over the last weekend, I deployed a strategy onto Snapshot, which basically does token ID weighting by token ID. So as we kind of talk about the global pass having heavier weighted voting versus the leisure pass, we got that strategy deployed in there and merged by the Snapshot team, which was really great. So yeah, Snapshot is going to be the solution that we need to go forward with from a voting perspective, because they can support our custom strategy, and because we made a technical decision not to extend the Governor contract at that time. So that kind of helped us make our decision there, just because there's less options. But Snapshot's a really amazing protocol. Really amazing voting platform, and a lot of the top crypto projects in the space use it. And so Snapshot will handle explicitly the voting. The other thing to be considering is where we kind of have proposals, discussion, and how do we kind of move forward with that. I've seen a lot of different protocols that use a few different platforms, Discourse being one of the more popular ones, but kind of looking at those options as well. So that's kind of the update of what's happened until today. As we start kind of thinking around like what moves forward, I'm sorry, a few other mentions. The dev chats channel has been off the chain lately. There was a lot of great work spinning out our Dune dashboard. If you haven't seen that, it's got a lot of awesome content.
Greg, are those folks helping you with any of the work, by the way, just out of curiosity? I know, for example, Cooper has had a number of folks in the community that have sort of stepped up as moderators. I know it can be quite a bit different, of course, with core building, but how is that relationship going? Just in terms of folks from the community contributing as you evaluate some of these tools.
Yeah, totally. So I think the DAO tooling mostly has just been me taking the effort and getting a bunch of inbound of different ideas to look at.
Love it.
It's super helpful.
And then the vision for that is over time. Kind of how do you maybe see that evolving?
Yeah. So I think the first thing is like people taking action. Like the Dune dashboard, nobody asked for that. That was just started getting built by the community. Which was really amazing to see.
That was
right?
Wild. That's like a better Dune dashboard than top 100 DeFi, top 50 DeFi protocols have. I loved it.
Yeah. So the first thing I noticed is just take an initiative. If you see something that you want, that's the amazing thing about DAOs is you can make it happen. So yeah, that's the first thought is if you want to contribute somewhere, just start making it happen, and we'll come together and support you if it's something you want to see through. So all ideas are welcome. The Dev Chats channel is a great place to kind of start. I've already seen everything, all types of ideas that are like amazing. So yeah, and then the other thing is I think eventually the Eng platform is probably going to become some type of open source repo that we need to either all contribute to in different ways. As we start thinking about some future fun things that we want to do, there's also going to be Eng products that we need to build. If we want to start doing PFPs one day, which has been teased, like how do we do that? At some point we're also going to have to start thinking about the Links ERC20 token in the future. And there's going to be everything from having to build a Merkle distributor, or another thing is we should start thinking about putting POAPs for people that attend these podiums. So there's all types of ideas and opportunities for people to jump on. So yeah, I think the devs channel chat is where to start, and just start taking action and bringing together groups and finding opportunities to have impact. I think that's it. Happy to answer any questions. So that
amazing. Yeah, let's go around the horn. I'm just trying to make sure we've done community. does Bez or maybe Bez, do you want to give a quick update maybe on some of the fun like course and golf relationship conversations that you've had this week? And then we'll go to Q&A after that. Maybe Dom or Big Bucks or Coop can talk a little bit about community, and then off to Q&A after you, Bez.
Yeah, I mean, Jim hit on it, but this week has basically been sifting through all of the inbound and then some outbound that we've done to start to build relationships. I'd say the one that Jim mentioned, we kind of tiered them or sort of categorized them across a few different areas. Like I'd say like a service provider, sort of in real life, benefit. There's merch and brand partners, some of which we've talked about might be paid, but we're also exploring a few different free drops and giveaways and gifts that we can give to the community off the bat that are totally emblematic of the brand that we're trying to build and the community we're trying to build here. There's course-related inbound and outbound, whether both course owners, management companies, course networks, trying to figure out the ways to play nice with them, and then maybe even one of those might lead to the course that we acquire. Then there's sort of like broader golf industry, and that's been tours that have reached out to us. It's been events that have come inbound, and then players through management companies, agencies, and then even sort of just like influential people in the golf world who have a lot of sway when it comes to private clubs, when it comes to the way that the golf industry is run on the whole. And so there's very few people at this point that we probably can't get in touch with through one degree of separation now, just after a single week of conversations. So a lot of stuff in the works, a lot of great partners, and we're now really focused on bringing a handful of those to life over the next couple weeks to fulfill the roadmap that we already started to lay out to everybody as part of the NFT drop.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Dom, for all your hard work. The community like has been awesome, as we keep saying. I mean, it's gonna hammer that home. As Greg was saying, I may have neglected the dev chat channel a little bit. I think there's definitely opportunity there to expand that one channel into multiples. Something I'm working on in the background is a role allocation system for you to select your own interests, locations, things like that. So if you're interested in merch or course design or rules or development or any of those things, whatever interests you are, we're working really hard to get those things together for you so that you'll be able to kind of collaborate with various groups within the Discord and work together. So I'm excited about all those developments coming out of the development side. But if you're interested in taking a larger role in the Discord, I've had a lot of great DMs from people, either on the moderator side or you have a special role. Hang tight. We are going to be rolling those things out. And if there's something that we come out with that you're not seeing, I would love to, add that to the options. Additionally, if you have any experience moderating Discords or some free time on your hands and just want to learn and hop in, let me know and we can excel on that. So other than that, some other updates on the community side. We just crossed 13,000 members today, so super excited about that. We've got the Mulligan, which is the publication that's going out under announcements. And just a lot of great work coming out of the team. Really excited.
The Mulligan's a wild thing. I mean, it's amazing. And that's another community product?
Absolutely. Straight out of the community. I got to thank Babs for that.
I mean, how lucky are we? Thank God
Barbs.
for the folks in this community.
Yeah, big shout out to Barbs. That's an incredible workflow, and that comes with the Dune Analytics dashboard and everything else. So just so proud of what you guys are doing. And, I'm working really hard to get the systems in place to keep that flow going and improve collaboration. So any ideas are always appreciated. Just really excited to be on this journey with y'all.
Great. Big Bucks or anybody else who hasn't spoken want to speak? If not, we'll open it up to questions.
Yeah, real quick, and then we'll kick it over to the questions. I just wanted to say how incredible the community has been over the last few weeks, especially since Mint. We have had so much involvement, so many people stepping up, asking questions, people that are asking questions, community members are answering for them. I've been like most of you, I've been in a ton of Discords, and this is super, super rare. And so it's really incredible to be a small part of this journey with everybody up on the podium. But more so just to be a part of the community on a daily basis. The vibe in there is fun. It's somewhere you want to go. So it's awesome. Keep it up.
Love it. Love it. All right. So folks who are, just new and jumped up, just, fire away.
Hey, this is Jake Buck. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. First, I have a comment, then I'll ask my question. But Mike, I opened up a beer to start this town hall, and I wish I was listening as closely as I should have been, but I didn't hear Web3 once, so I was hoping I could drink this entire thing.
I
But I have
appreciate
yet to
your
do that.
memory. We did our we've done our best to eliminate some of those buzzwords.
Cool. So maybe Dom recognizes me, but I asked a question yesterday, and the way that I'm thinking about this, and I've been following closely, is that the raise that we did for the NFT mint was to build this the treasury, to level set for a second, to build out the team, to then eventually, carry out the mission, buy a golf course, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
So help me think about this, because I know that the NFT isn't guaranteed to have ownership of the course.
Yep.
So, as an early member who, owns the NFT, is there going to be an eventual token, coin, et cetera, that comes out that has all the value, and that the NFT that I own eventually becomes worthless because what comes down the road, what the community decides?
Oh, gotcha. No, so
hopefully I'm making
good
sense
question.
there.
Yeah, so let me just address that. So you hold an NFT today, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So we make no future representation. I'm not going to sound like a lawyer that there will be a token, but the point is, the idea of holding today, the NFT gives you the governance rights that a token theoretically would in the future, right? The idea and the concept is that you as the NFT holder would be that you would receive a proportional amount of, if there were, again, this is something that we are working to ensure and determine if we can do this in a viable way. But basically you can either govern through the NFT itself, which has governance rights, or through a token. They're effectively, I mean, today, like, the token there's no token that exists. So, basically you have your voting rights to the NFT. So what Dom's setting up, what Greg is setting up is in some DAOs, you basically vote your tokens, right? So if you were in friends with benefits and FWB, you'd vote your tokens. If you hold 100 tokens, you vote those 100 tokens. In our structure in LinksDAO, you vote your NFT. So if you have a global NFT, you have effectively 4 votes. Mm-hmm. If you hold a leisure NFT, you have 1 vote. Okay. Mm-hmm. And so that is your governance right. That is, what we talked about, before we sold the NFTs, like that is your governance vote. And these are meaningful things like club rules, committees that manage all of these things, etc. Okay. Additionally, when we get the physical club, as we've said, option to purchase, membership in that club. Okay. In addition to all that, our goal, and I think the question you're probably ultimately getting at, and what we clearly said before, like, our goal is that you will additionally have the ability to, but we can't promise this. My dream, my hope, what we're trying to execute against is that you as an NFT holder, early supporter, will have the ability, if you so choose. And again, it's a different business profile holding an asset, right? Like actually holding ownership in a golf club or an asset, but that you would be able to purchase into that that asset sale, right?
So can I ask a question really quick right there?
Yeah, please.
So that asset sale, let's say if you have to be an accredited investor, and myself currently not. So if I own the NFT that has the right to purchase the golf course, but need to be an accredited investor, and the golf course is what takes off and is super profitable and is what everyone wants, do I need to be concerned as an NFT owner who's not an accredited investor? And again, I know this is very early, but any thoughts there?
It's hard to comment on that specifically. The NFT right now is a collectible, with, again, some, what we believe is really strong utility, and that, basically the way that people seem to be, perceiving it, like they're viewing it as having, real value. Like, I guess I'm not saying, like, I'm not promising that we'll have, like, we were very explicit about what it is, right? It's governance in a club. It gives you the perks and benefits of membership of the club, and then the right to purchase a membership in the physical location. If you're trying to say, hey, like, it's not a share in the ownership of a golf club. You know what I mean? Meaning, like, if you were to buy some golf club, the NFT doesn't represent ownership in that. Okay.
Yeah, and just to close this out,
to be honest, like, if I'm thinking about how I would think about, like, and personally my own thing, I don't think about it that way. Like, if I were to actually make a decision on should I invest in the actual club itself, it's a very different calculus, right? Meaning, sorry, the ownership of the asset.
Of course. Yeah.
Meaning the golf course, the management company, the operating company. That's a different decision. We're going to give, if we can, we're definitely going to give accredited folks the opportunity to make that decision. I think we'll be able to give everybody the ability to make that decision. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and just to close out, what I think is
can I just I'm sorry to interrupt, bud. Can I just build on it in a second? Is because there's a lot of this is a what we're doing right now is pretty unprecedented, meaning taking an NFT and trying to bring it into the real world in a really meaningful way. And so one of the things we've been spending so much time on is what options we can bring to the NFT holders, like comprehensively across the board. So if we can find a way for non-accredited investors within, like, legal construct of securities law to have an opportunity to be a part of the ownership of the course itself, we will, but we don't have that information yet. What we do know is that the NFT holders will have a right to membership. They're going to have a great amount of perks along the way, and the ability to steer the decisions that are made regarding how we kind of handle the course, the club, the vibe, all of those different things. But because we're kind of in uncharted territory together right now, we're spending a lot of time on exactly what we're able to do.
And to be sure, we're not shooting from the hip here, meaning we're talking to some of the foremost experts in the world. Jim and I have had more conversations than you can imagine, with the end goal of delivering on exactly what I think we all want. We just in the meantime, we're going to deliver on what we know we can definitively deliver on, which is this amazing community experience, online experience, perks, benefits, etc., while we work towards that end goal over 6, 12, 15 months, to get everybody involved further.
And Mike, can I just say one thing, just one thing here based on what Jake had said, which was, even if you're unaccredited, let's say worst case scenario, we can't enable unaccredited investors to invest in the asset in the club itself. I think you had said something to the effect of, like, well, does my NFT lose value or is not as valuable as as being able to invest in the property? Ultimately, like, if this club is a massive success, that NFT is the only way to have membership. So that NFT will be increasingly valuable over time. And to Mike's point, thinking about it as an entirely separate investment from an investment in a physical piece of real estate. So
Beautiful.
The value of that NFT is much more tied to the success of the club than it may appear right now.
Yeah, and essentially, I just wanted assurance that the NFT that I own and probably everyone who's on the call right now owns is, has some assurance that what we own is what's going to be the most lucrative and, piece of investment that the community ever puts forth.
Yeah, so I think we can't. So we can't.
I think we can say that.
Yeah, I'll let Jim respond to that.
Yeah, I we can't speculate on the value of the NFT, honestly, right? Because that has nothing to do with what we're trying to do as an organization. Like the value of the NFT, the only value of the NFT.
I disagree with that too.
Yeah, I disagree with
that.
I'm
sorry. Well, no,
it's somewhere between what Baz and Jim said. I'm gonna let Jim
finish. But what I'm saying is we as an organization, what we're trying to do is deliver on the vision of delivering incredible perks for our members, ultimately buying golf club and giving the membership opportunity to the folks that own the NFT. In terms of the value of the NFT, we are not in control of that. So it's based on the things that we're delivering, the NFT might go up or down, but that's not something that we're necessarily laser focused on. We're laser focused on delivering for the community.
Yeah, and I guess that incentivizes me to be on the call more, all these calls more, to make sure that as an NFT owner, I'm governing the way that I feel is best, as just like a shareholder would for Chipotle or whatever.
Kind of like that. That's kind of fun.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate all the hard work you guys are doing, and I think I'm not sure exactly who said it, but they nail on the head that what's exciting about this project is that it's almost the first one that's both DAO related but real world related, and so that's why I'm excited about it. And again, thanks again for all you guys' hard work.
You got it. Appreciate it, buddy. All right, who's next?
Hello. So I feel like a lot of my questions here have been answered in what was just asked. I'm doing something similar in a different space, in a different industry, with real world asset and club, etc. My question was, how is the acquisition of the course actually happening? Like where those funds are coming from, versus say, you can't do it with an NFT because it's considered.
Yeah, so I can answer that one quickly.
Etc.
Yeah, it's not coming from the NFT sale. It's a separate fundraise. Yep, that's the just quick delineation. Yep.
Anything on considerations of like a NFT type timeshare where, a portion.
We haven't thought about that, but it's definitely something that I've had people reach out, ask questions. I know others are. I think a lot depends. I'm not a lawyer, so a lot depends on jurisdiction, what you're doing, etc. But for purposes of what we're doing, the DAO and what how the DAO operates is, basically the responsibilities, the decisions we make, what we're doing today is functionally separate from the operation of the course. And frankly, I think it's for the best. 13,000 people trying to operate a golf course, physically and own the asset, probably would be a mess. I don't even say probably.
But last question here. What governed your decision to not include governance in the actual NFT and do it off chain?
Sorry, I'm not sure I know that. So governance will be included in the NFT. That's what Greg's working on. But you mean from immediate sale? You're saying? I'll let Greg.
No,
I can clarify that.
Greg, go ahead.
Yeah, so I believe you are referencing why it was not intentionally added into the ERC 721 contract on chain.
Yes.
And the reason why that was not a conscious decision to include or not to include, that was not known at that time that it would need to extend a particular governor contract created by Open Zeppelin. So that was knowledge that was acquired after when we started exploring the governance route. So that was not an intentional decision not to include it on chain. Now, to clarify, you can be doing on chain voting with Snapshot, which, well, let me clarify that even further. But so it's a off chain signature that clarifies that you own the NFT and it is in your wallet at a given block time. Now, and that is how a snapshot is built, that it is a off-chain signature of your on-chain wallet. And that is what will be used for voting through snapshot. So you are still completely voting and validated by the contents of your wallet from your on-chain.
100%. I just didn't know if it was a conscious decision to try to keep the cost of gas down on the smart contract, or
no. Like, to be clear, like, so I basically, as a non-technical person, just said, hey, here's the requirements, and I wasn't clear to the team, and this was even before Greg, was fully reviewing things, that governance would happen from the NFT. Like, we were moving fast, so yeah, I mean, it was unintentional. I think if we'd taken 3 months to structure this, probably a good chance that we would have done it that way.
All right, thank you very much.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Am I? Sorry.
I'll let Rebel go.
Man,
Looks like we figured it out.
This is Bogan. Thank you guys for letting me talk. I have never seen a Discord this active and passionate. And as far as the token, this was my narrow question is whether the token holders, by virtue of holding the NFT cards, would be given credit. Could they turn in their tokens as credit towards purchase in the golf course, or as
These are great questions. We are thinking through all manner of ways. We don't know yet what we're going to be able to do. But
understand.
like, meaning, can you burn the NFT for
right?
For membership, those kinds of things. Like, I actually would love to hear all wonderful ideas and keep them coming in the ideas channels, because we're considering them all. No answers today, but suffice to say that, like, I was immediately able to understand what you're talking about, because it's something that we're wondering if we can do that and exploring with the right folks.
And maybe kind of a follow-up question, a little on a different path. Obviously, the golf course is the big goal, and one that I'm sure y'all are going to be able to accomplish. But when we kind of think about this as a broader club, what about opportunities to sort of partner with city clubs in various places across the world, where a holder could go, let's say to New York or San Francisco or Atlanta?
Great question there. Does Bez want to maybe talk about that, or Jim, somebody who's been working on this a little bit?
Yeah. So on this point, so to exactly what you referenced, our ultimate goal and what we're focused on is the physical club. And there's a lot of time and resources that we're putting into just that. So everybody is aligned on that goal. The reality is we are already a club of sorts, meaning, we have NFT holders, we have a incredible community, we have a brand. And so we want to be bringing, and I mentioned this kind of at the jump, that we want to be bringing really tangible benefits to our club, to our community, to our members, like, immediately. And that's going to be starting next week. And so one of the things we are looking at is, can we partner with, and I don't know if we're going to be able to do this, but it's something we're working on, like, very diligently. Can we partner with some national club holders to give unique access to our NFT holders and our members, so they can go out and play a bunch of great courses, like, immediately, while we're still kind of scouting, building, and getting our own physical club off the ground. So again, what we're working on, what I'm expecting to happen is that over the next week to month to 2 months to 3 months, in the interim from this point until when we can identify a club, buy it, renovate it, get ready for everybody, we want to be bringing a lot of real life value to our NFT holders. And one thing that we're pushing on is trying to partner with a national club so people can go out and play some great golf on a bunch of different courses.
Cool. And not this will be my last point or question to sort of facilitate that. Is there a way, and maybe y'all have already started doing this, but is there a way to anonymously collect demographic data about the holders? For example, what's your age, where do you live, those sorts of questions, so that then you can turn around and pitch it to these various clubs and say, listen, we have this many members that have these characteristics, and this is why you need to partner with us.
We've been discussing ways to capture that data. Frankly, we already have enough inbound interest and some good outbound conversations that have started, even without them having that.
Yeah, and like we're not going to collect this is a DAO. Like we're not going to proact. Like we'll let people who want to share stuff. We haven't even thought about actually. That could be one of the first community things that we discuss in a major way, which is sort of data sharing. We're sort of default anon, where name, email. I'd be interested to find categorizations that I think are more relevant to what's actually interesting to potential partners. Yeah,
to that point, like people that we're talking to that Jim referenced, these networks of clubs, both public and private, that we can secure access to and are trying to secure access to for our members. That hasn't come up a single time.
Literally, they want, I think Jim had said to me, I think it's going to be as simple as flash your NFT. No joke. Like you saw Pool Suite, put it in your Apple Wallet, flash it. I prefer something like that than meaning proof of club than proof of any, identity, age, anything. And I think if we can create something that's special, which I think we're on the path to do, that's more powerful than anything.
Sounds good.
All right, what's up, guys? Very savvy move, transferring the treasury to a stable coin. That was just in the nick of time, so good job on that. I wanted to talk about the most important part of this whole journey for this whole community, which is obviously the tangible asset, which is the actual golf course and how it's going to be selected and how transparent that process is going to be. And I just want to know, are you guys going to just kind of narrow it down between a few options? Because I know that's logistically a hard thing to do. So my suggestion may be, are you able to at least break it down by region?
Yeah, these are great questions. Yeah, how do you think about it? I'd be curious. The way that we think about it is, there's some broad geographical areas, there's some broad price points, there's location to urban areas, but I don't. My feeling, and I'll open it up to everybody up here, is we've had. I mean, I've read the proposals, the ideas. There's no consensus yet on where or what type of place that the first club will be. I know that from a legal perspective, it's almost certainly going to be in the U.S. That's about all that we're limited to at this point. So we have from there a pretty open palette. I think we've proven as a group of individuals, as a group of enthusiasts, that we can sort of raise money and community passion. So I think we're back to the original day when we tweeted, hey, we're going to buy a top 100 club in the world. And we can put air quotes in that, but I feel like we can buy one of the best courses on earth You know, it doesn't have to be, at the top of its game. It could be a fixer upper. It could be this or that or the other thing. And then the question, to your point, is where. And so we're not I'm not deciding that. I think that's that's something that we're going to have to put out broadly to the community to, I think, identify and get a real feel. Like, we know we can look at stats and see where community members come from, meaning heavy US, certain, areas of the United States. But I think culturally, we need to know what people want, before we decide as a group.
Well, I mean, that's the great thing about this game, right? Is that you travel, and like my dad, for example, his goal is to play a golf course in every state in the United States. He's at 41. So he's been able to do that. I don't know what he's going to do in the Dakotas or Alaska, but he'll figure it out. But I guess what I'm getting at is I definitely think, just because I don't know, because I have no idea how golf courses announce whether or not they're for sale. So, or how many are for sale at a given time.
Yeah, there's a lot, and we have good insight. We also have that inbound from the largest golf course companies in the world. So we have more inbound than you can imagine. So I think we're going to have a really good choice, and we're going to have a mixture of really thoughtful, we're going to put in place, the whole point of the DAO governance is putting in place a committee that can contribute significant know-how, expertise, to narrowing this question down.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I just wanted to basically see how transparent it would be during this election process. But by what you're saying, it sounds like that will be the case. So I'm really excited. This is going to be awesome. We're going to
look, like if we surprise, the 5,000 governance holders and the who knows at that point 20,000 Discord members, and about we're not looking to surprise folks with where we purchase our first course, right?
Right.
This is a decision that this is the whole point of this entire thing, or you don't do it as a community-led initiative, is that we're working to figure this out together.
Right. Okay. Well, my suggestion, I guess, would be is make sure that perhaps once there's a general idea of what's available to purchase and what's in the price range, maybe have folks vote by region, I guess, as to, do you want it in the Southeast? Do you want it in the Southwest, Northwest, Northeast, Midwest?
Yeah, I think that's fair. That's definitely one way that we might structure it. Genuinely, I think even before we pick, some broad, just to get a feeler for, hey, what are the top 5 locations, broadly, that folks are interested in,
Yep.
Yeah, and I was actually talking to Cooper about this today. We want to have some good, some significant input from the NFT community on geographics, and what type of experience you're looking for. So then when Bez and I and team go out and start looking at courses and having conversations, we can have a better idea of what the community is looking for. So input obviously is very important in this process.
I think the one thing that you can be assured of is we're going to have a phenomenal golf experience, and we're going to have a phenomenal club and community experience. And now it's just a matter of figuring out the type of asset enables that. And obviously, to your point, kind of what location. But I don't think ultimately location is not going to influence how great the golf is and how great the community and the club experience is.
Right. Oh, you can have a great golf course anywhere if you have the resources and effort and community. That is for sure. That is it for me. Thanks, guys. Enjoy your weekend, and I appreciate you answering the questions.
Hey guys, what's up? Super amateur golfer, but I love to be here. I love the idea. Can't wait to get on the green with you guys and play. But I got a couple of questions. I'm an NFT. I minted it. Got the global pass I want to know if I buy more and I hoard, if I buy a couple of gold passes, will I have more DAO votes? And should I do that? Really, is also another question. Or should I want to split it around and let everyone have a piece of the action?
Yeah, I mean, nobody can tell you what to vote, what to do with the votes. I would say the spirit of this is that we're voting as a community. My desire would be that people wouldn't hoard these and try to control the vote, but these things happen on public blockchains for a reason, right? We're really creating a true community where people can govern based on their desire to. So that would be the answer to that question. What was the second question?
That if I
should
would
you
have
hoard them?
multiple.
Like, yeah, I can't give you financial advice.
No, I'm saying should I, or should I be, want to have the whole community, have everyone have 9,000 different, passes?
I think so. I think so. So here's my view generally on any interesting project in the space. If you look at Bored Ape, if you look at any of these, the more unique holders and people who care about the project, the better the the composition of people caring is. And our whole thing is we want to be inclusive here, right? We want we capped it at 9,090 NFTs. Like that seemed like a reasonably large amount of membership and governance rights. We're at 5,000, as I've said, and above unique holders. We're so excited that many people care and want to, basically exercise governance rights over what the future of this community should be. So,
yeah, I'm really excited. I want everyone to have a piece. I don't want to just, take advantage of the situation. But I also have another question. I want to have a piece. I don't want to just, take advantage of the situation. But I also have another question. Other people are going to have multiple. Are they going to be able to maybe rent them out for somebody for a month or whatever? Have people have like tourist passes? Or
yeah, I mean, there's no mechanism for that today, and we've not promised that, and I don't think there's no mechanism for that.
Okay, all right. I think all my questions are really
we're not promising that. I don't know. Like, once the course exists, like we'll have a whole bunch of community things to talk about. But today, that's not an issue. Like, we're more focused, as Jim said, on delivering a way for folks to decide on the future of this community, and a way to deliver on the existing benefits, the online benefits, etc.
Right. I just want to be involved, and I love it, and I just want to work more with you guys, and I appreciate you taking the time, letting me on this call, and I'm going to be out. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, we're past 9. If people need to drop off, I totally understand. Give me one sec.
Yeah, maybe just to chime in on the for the group as we bring up the next speaker.
Yeah, I'm going to keep going for about 15 minutes. So let's go until 9:15 for me, and then if other folks want to stay on, that's awesome. Does that sound good, guys?
Right, yeah, cool. Definitely. And just one note. Again, this is my own personal opinion. Like, I've been involved in a lot of projects, and building cool things, and building great businesses and things like that. To get where we are right now in 3 weeks is it's just extraordinary. And it's it's a testament to the community and the passion and the Discord, and how really visceral and strong the concept and idea is, I think, of what we're all interested in. And so we're basically, we're working really hard to get all the answers for everybody, but 21 days in, more or less, there's going to be a few things that we're still working out. So we appreciate.
Who has all the answers, Jim? Who just hopped up on stage, who I love, is Victor. What's up, Victor? You're a hero. You haven't had the chance to chat. You're muted, though.
Hey, guys. Yeah, thank you so much.
Victor, tell us a little bit about what attracted you. I haven't been on stage with you before. What got you so excited about LinksDAO? And I mean, you jumped in with just unbelievable passion and abandon. And I think you've really encouraged a number of folks. What excited you about it?
What excited me about him was basically the DAO in a sense, and that being completely different. And like at first I thought maybe we were gonna have ownership, but given security issues and stuff like that, that's complicated a few things. But initially when I thought that, I was like, this is gonna be awesome. Like you're gonna finally have a corporate structure that's run from bottom up and not top down. And that's what right now everybody wants, right? So that's why I just thought, I was like, and it's done through crypto.
Well, I love that you didn't leave us when you found that, hey, that might be a little challenging to deliver from day one, but you believed in us.
Yeah, I absolutely did. I mean, you guys are all very reputable. The community's just been absolutely great too, given what's happened to me as well. Being new to the whole space and everything like that with what Knockerton did was just, I mean, that's a testament to the community, right? So that's essentially why I stayed and then ended up getting a global as well, because I actually think like there's a lot more to it than maybe the DAO having ownership of a physical course or a physical asset, right?
Yeah,
So
I mean, our goal is that the two things are incredibly symbiotic. If we have a DAO that has is best in class, and then you have a best in class operating company, like that thing hasn't existed in the world, right? It's a tall order to make it happen, but they work so in concert together, right? Like what physically operating real estate and operational company has ever had a engaged community of what by the end of this year is going to be 30,000 people, right? Who passionately care about what the hell they do as they operate and develop properties. I mean, it's just bonkers, right, Victor?
yeah, absolutely. I totally agree, which is why like I've told everyone that I've known about it too. And as soon as I talked to them for 5-10 minutes, Griffin being like one of my buddies, he bought a global within literally 5 minutes of me talking to him. And I was just like, you didn't want to do your own research or anything? He's like, no, I trust you. He's like, this actually sounds great. I'm gonna hold as well and see how it goes, how it plays out. So I mean, it's really inspiring what you guys are doing and how quickly everything has moved within just a matter of 3 weeks. And having to deal with all of our questions and everything like that. Because I know, like, there's certain times we would put you guys into like certain corners in terms of like, can you legally really answer this or not? But another thing that you just tapped into is which is what I was going to ask is like that symbiotic relationship that is extremely important, and that's something that I think we're all really hoping for. And how are we going to ensure that actually happens and you don't get like a bunch of investors that end up having all the board seats and then kind of neglect the DAO? Because legally they could do that, right?
Nope, nobody's answering that question. That ain't happening, brother.
Okay.
Repeat the last part again.
So what Mike was saying before, like the DAO is going to have a symbiotic relationship with the company or the owners of the physical asset, right? Because like how does
Okay.
the DAO govern the physical asset, or the DAO doesn't govern the physical asset at all?
So there's the only way to make this like fully incorporate as a real DAO would be going through the state of Wyoming or Switzerland or Malta. They recognize legal DAOs. You'd also have to set up a multi-sig with a smart contract generator for the vote and governance, as well as treasury. Then it would be viable. It would have to dictate that the DAO vote would be a legal signature to the document.
Yeah, and that's why when we sold the NFT, we in the terms and on the page it just says that those two things are separate, meaning the NFT doesn't represent ownership of the physical. Yeah. And by the way, like that's a different asset class, Like I'd buy a global, and I don't know, I wouldn't like. We have experts who are going to run our course acquisition process on the team, and so it's just they're two very different things.
And I'll also add, everything I just said is extremely painful. It is way easier to go based on like this Web3 of trust and just say, everybody, this is how we vote, we do it, and then the private entity acts on our behalf.
Okay, because let's just say,
which we're not doing.
Yeah. So let's just say
I appreciate it, to be honest.
I don't mean to keep cutting you guys off.
No. You're not cutting anybody off. We're having a
All
chat.
right. So like when the DAO is going to start everything initially up to the purchase of the course. And then after the purchase of the course, clearly the DAO is not going to have any involvement within financial or with how or
Oh
with
no. So the goal here.
my question was in the symbiotic relationship.
Yeah. So we're not just like purchase like the whole idea here is that we're creating a DAO. Like we are putting in place the infrastructure that Greg described. We have the folks who have the ability to govern, and we're just like setting up the infrastructure for it.
Mm-hmm.
This is not for we are creating, the goal is the world's greatest golf and leisure brand, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't stop with I hope it doesn't stop with the purchase of a course or
I guess whoever purchases the course or whatever entity ends up owning the course or owning the physical asset is going to keep the integrity of the DAO. Like that's a must.
I'm sorry.
Like so, whoever owns the asset is going to keep the integrity of it being a DAO, regardless if the DAO.
But they're related entities, like in a sense, like So I guess that's a good question. So our goal is to ensure that they're related entities, right? Okay. They're related in the sense that, like, I'm working with a team to go out and facilitate a purchase of a first course to secure funding of that, and then to do my best with a team, right, to involve the DAO in economically in that if I can, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which we've said from the beginning, right? So the purchase of the course was always, and we've said that from the beginning, separate from DAO governance, right? But the two of them are completely tied together because they're both LinksDAO, the LinksDAO brand, and one doesn't work without the other. So if you think about it in totality, it's almost like, imagine you have like literally the greatest brand in the history of golf and leisure that is quote unquote governed by this DAO. It's almost like you have like this board. Like my dream is that you have this quote unquote board of directors of the most amazing, corporation in the world that hopefully in 10 years we can turn the operating company into a DAO, or 5 years. But again, that's governed and managed by the DAO. Sorry, governed by the DAO, not managed by the DAO.
Yeah, governed by the DAO. Yeah, so that's awesome. That clarified it for me in terms of the symbiotic relationship, if that would still remain or if the DAO just kind of cuts off and we just hope for the initial process.
No. And like the thing that we can't promise that, but I repeatedly will say we hope to do, and like literally hope with our reputations, is we're trying also to give people the option, the ownership option, certainly for accredited investors we will, and we're hoping for everybody to give folks who have purchased the NFT, who are early community members, the ability to purchase, should they want to, into the operating company as well. Okay.
And that's why I stuck around to answer your question from before.
Okay.
For that little bit of, but regardless of the fact, the community and the brand is so great that even if that wasn't an option, knowing that there's going to be that symbiotic relationship between the two, I would still be a part of this 100%.
I appreciate it.
I guess
you've Victor, you're a champ. You're a champ in the Discord. You're a champ in the question podium. All right, who's next?
It was actually
one more question if they're
Victor. It was actually me, and I didn't mean to come off like kind of fuddish. I've just had like weird DAO exposure in the past.
I love it.
I'm honestly a terrible golfer. My grandfather was really into it. He did like super old school Microsoft Pixel Paint on MS Paint. I need to post them when I find it. I promise I will. I'm really just here because what you guys are doing for the DAO. And also, like, I have a lot of great questions tonight about governance, how this is going to operate, but I really encourage everybody to look at how they're responding to privacy, your accountability, and why it's important for us to provide feedback back to them as well. They're going to give us info. We have to provide feedback to make this work properly too. But the privacy and self-custody that they're talking about is just as important. And that was really all I wanted to say.
Yeah. And I agree. And that's like what I said earlier, which was like, I don't want to collect your email address, right? I don't want to, necessarily like as a default, we're not like a traditional marketing organization. This is something very, very different, And
Yep.
I think the people we're engaging with understand that, and we're approaching it like that. So anyway, honestly, like if you haven't reached out, like please do, because we're actually crafting right now, sort of, we think a very differentiated, and we'll share this publicly, way that like, when you approach partners, you have like a sort of a media book or a book about your composition, and I think we have a way an opportunity to do that in a way that just blows people's minds.
Absolutely.
Like loves
100%.
Board Ape Yacht Club, loves, you know what I mean? Just silly stuff. Like just make it so different than the normal presentation, and that has no PII, no anything.
Hey, can I say something
Absolutely.
before you leave?
With that,
Yeah. So my question was, like, continues to hear, 21 days that this has all came about, being that a golf course is going to be purchased and renovated or purchased turnkey. Have you thought about proposing as the Dalgon in any way to look at a Core and Crenshaw and saying, let's take time to really make this a top club through a build, and look at architects rather than just purchasing?
that's a great question that Bez or Jim, whoever is up for it, should chat about.
Yep. Yeah, it's definitely a consideration. I would say that there's like three very broad categories of courses. There's the turnkey course, which you mentioned, which probably requires very little work. It's probably the most expensive, but it's the fastest, and it's probably not highest quality golf. There's middle, which is great bones. You can fix the greens, fix the sand traps, maybe some shaping work in the fairways and things like that, maybe some rerouting work. It's like $250,000 a hole, maybe up to $500,000 a hole. And the third is property built from scratch. That's going to take the longest though. It's going to require finding the property. It's going to require survey work. It's going to require building it from scratch, which is going to take probably conservatively 18 months. The survey work and permitting before that is probably 6 to 12 months. And then there's a whole host of other considerations around that, which a number of members of the DAO have brought up, which is if you're purchasing a piece of land from scratch, how much dirt do you have to move? How many trees do you have to cut down? There's environmental and sustainability factors that come into play. That a number of members are focused on, and that I think is and rightfully so. Say when it comes to the architects that you referenced, a Core and Crenshaw, a Doak, a Hance, and Bobby Weed, a McClay Kidd, a whole host of others. All of those are on our radar. We have connections to virtually all of them through either one degree of separation or directly, but through personal connections that we've made prior to even starting this project, in addition to connections that have been formed over the last 3 weeks as we received a ton of inbound and spoken to a number of other people in the space. So all of that is on the table. I think ultimately we're focused on getting the highest quality golf experience enabled for our members in as expeditiously as possible. So we're going to, as I think it was Bogan who was asking, or maybe someone else was asking about the voting and transparency around on the process. That's 100% going to be something that that's served up to our members as we evaluate geographies and profiles of the acquisition that we're going to make.
Thanks, Biz. Really appreciate the color.
Hey, friends, I have to take off. It's been wonderful. We're going to do this again regularly. I think a number of members of the team have a little bit more time, but thank you so much for the great questions, and excited to keep going. Cheers.
What is up? How's everybody? Yeah, woo. Exciting.
What's up, Aspen?
What's up? How is everybody? It's weird talking to everybody now properly, but
Happy
yeah,
to have you. Do you have
excited
any
To have
questions?
you.
girl. Sorry, what were you saying?
Do you have any questions?
No, just want to say I'm happy to be here. I'm hyped. It's gonna be great. Yeah, that's about it. Have a good night, everybody.
Hey,
Yeah, okay.
very fun
Woo.
part of the community.
Yeah, I'm glad. All right, I'll leave you guys to it.
Thanks.
Can you comment? Is the ladies' tea going to be a real thing? I think the
that would be
clubhouse wants to know.
Yeah, I think that'd be
Oh,
super awesome.
No, yeah, it needs to happen. Because even I was, we had a Twitter space a few days ago, and there were like some girls talking in it. So there are some girls in the community. So I think that'd be really cool to do. But yeah.
You heard it here first, everyone. There's a ladies' tea happening.
Yeah, set it up. We gotta make it happen. All right, I'll leave you guys to it. Have fun. We're gonna buy a golf course.
Hey guys, amateur golfer from Australia. Really excited about what you guys are doing with the DAO. Just two really short questions for you. First one is, can non-FT owners buy membership?
Yeah, the short answer is, as it stands right now, no. Yeah, that's the short answer of it. So if you wanted to buy membership based on the structure we have today, you'd have to buy one of the NFTs on the secondary.
Okay, yeah. So obviously that then drives the value of the NFT as well.
I mean, that's not the purpose. The purpose is that the people that believe in the project, who own the NFTs, are the ones that have access to the membership. If, in the future, the community feels like they want to open up membership or playing opportunities to other folks, well, that's something we'll definitely consider.
Okay, great. And so the second question is, obviously, we've got all the NFT owners that we've got, but the Discord numbers are growing, the social media numbers are growing. So are there going to be ways for, I guess, the extended, members that aren't NFT owners to sort of gain value?
Hey, Coop, I'm going to kick that over to you because this is your area of expertise.
Hey, sure. Sorry about that. Can you repeat your question?
Yeah, so it was around, obviously, as the numbers are growing in Discord and across the other social media channels, as the brand grows, which is fantastic. Is there going to be value or a utility, etc., for non-NFT owners?
Sure. So, I mean, obviously, we appreciate all fans and friends of LinksDAO, even if you don't hold an NFT. I appreciate everybody who joins the Discord, follows on Twitter. We're gonna try to do everything possible to make this a fun and engaging community, whether you hold an NFT or not. So, it's not just as people in the Discord, as all of you in here have seen, a lot of the conversation occurs outside of the members' channels. Like a lot of what we talk about is public. A lot of the members are engaging in all channels of the Discord. We hope to have an active Twitter as well that's bringing people up to date. And we're going to have tons of rewards, giveaways, games, fun activities in the Discord as well. So, as the project grows, we're going to look for more and more ways to reward the community, both for the NFT holders and for the regular community. Down the line, who knows what's possible? I'm going to make every effort possible for this community to be inclusive for everybody. But with special attention paid obviously to the NFT holders. They're the LinksDAO members at this point. So, we love each and every one of them, and they're our main priority, but we're going to have a fun time throughout the whole server and across all platforms.
Thanks, guys. Really appreciate it, and just your transparency on everything, because I know there's some difficult legal issues, etc., and so that you're dealing with. But really appreciate your transparency on this, and super excited to see exactly where this all goes and be part of it. Thanks,
and by
guys.
the way, there's some great golf out there. Like phenomenal golf out in your area of the world.
Damn straight there is.
Oh, we're just going to chime in that I wish we could buy Barn Boogle, but it's not going to. Tim, you want to make a site visit?
I'll line up the flight for tomorrow.
Yeah, hey guys. Super excited to be here. Very, honestly, just astounded with engagement with the community over the last couple weeks and after the mint. It's been pretty exciting to be a part of. My question is just one question related to the treasury management. I know we converted over from ETH to stables kind of in the nick of time, which is just nice happenstance, but good for us. But my question is really around kind of whether or not there's plans to do anything with the treasury in the meantime, in terms of not necessarily active management, but earning yield on kind of what seems to be 11 mil plus. Are we thinking about investing those proceeds and kind of turning some yield off of those assets as they're static and held in the treasury?
Yeah, I can chime in on that. So our approach right now is as conservative as can be, which again is why we transferred into stablecoin the night of. We're not going to be speculative. We don't want to mess around with these funds. And the only way we've used these funds to this point is to pay like some key contributors that really worked super hard over the holiday to get the NFT drop like underway. So like we're trying to be as respectful, as conservative as we can. So we're not gonna transfer money around into trying to get a little bit of extra yield. Like we want to be super respectful of these funds.
Awesome. So just static, hanging out in stables, and it sounded like from what Mike was saying, like that like the treasury funds aren't actually going to be linked to the actual purchase of the course. Is that so? Like really, is that like? Let me clarify. Is that accurate? Like those funds aren't going to be like levered into purchasing the course.
That's accurate. Yeah, it's accurate. Yeah.
So, with that being said, are we looking at I guess what are those funds directly going to be used for? Like paying contributors to the DAO, paying like you've said, what's kind of the game plan in terms of managing those assets and like distributing, et cetera?
100%. I mean, those assets are going to be used to basically, again, in the most conservative way possible, meaning using the least amount that we can. Spinning up the organization that we need to deliver on our collective goals, right? And that could be some full-time staff, right? Because you don't go out and buy a golf course and change the entire landscape of the golf world without some people who want to work for you full-time. And like legal fees, because guys, there's a whole lot of those in the area that we're at, right? Like this is an entirely new area where we're trying to be super successful, and like we're so fucking dedicated to the mission together. And so, there's things like that. There's administrative fees. There's just basic organizational costs and operating expenses that you have from like trying to run an organization. But when I say we're trying to bootstrap as hard as we can, like I really mean it. We're trying to bootstrap as hard as we can and maintain, whatever funds we can in the treasury.
100%. Yeah, it makes sense. So org overhead, kind of ensuring every expenses are paid, and we have a pool of assets that we can draw on to make sure everything's going the right direction. Makes sense.
That's exactly right. Yep.
Awesome. Thanks,
I have a
guys.
question for you. Are you the real G Money?
If you ask my friends, definitely I'm the real G Money.
Okay, well, good to know. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you guys. Cheers.
Wow, I was unmute your mic, guy. Oh man. What's up, everybody? Thanks for letting me on. So to me, I feel like the real promised value of these tokens is the right to buy a membership at what you say is your goal, the greatest golf club in the world. And to me, I feel like that's the key. But does that mean you need an NFT token that we have to join this club? And I think I just want to iterate, if that is the goal, then I feel like the right to be a member has all that value. And that's why I'm a part of this.
Can I ask you a question? TV sales whiz. Who do you work for?
Wow.
Are you in media?
Yeah, I'm in
curious.
media. I'm a media guy. So the only way I can join a
work?
club is if I buy a piece of the action. Otherwise, they're not going to let me in.
Well, TV sales whiz. You know what? Like, I come from the media space. That's why I'm asking, man. Originally, I ran a bunch of media businesses. So anyway, yeah, I mean, this is one of the main things, right? It's like we want to go out, we want to buy a course, and we want to make it just fundamentally different from an experience standpoint, from a membership standpoint, from an involvement, from an inclusion, from a governance standpoint. We want to do something super special. And what's interesting about this too, again, this is just my opinion, because I'm sorry, guys, give me my last question because I got to hop off. Why this is so special is because a lot of private golf courses, right? They're extremely exclusive and not inclusive, right? It's like, who do you know? What do you do? And it's a bunch of people from a very specific demographic that have a whole hell of a lot of money.
Right.
And they join the club and they make the rules together. We have 5,000 more or less wallets that own one of the NFTs right now.
Mm-hmm.
And the folks that are owners of these NFTs come from a whole host of different backgrounds. Like, this is I'm talking in general, but the thing has to be true, and it's our collective dream to build the golf club that these NFT holders want to build, right? There's a lot that we need to work out together. There's no question. Like, this is uncharted territory, and we're going to build something beautiful together. But what you're saying is right. Like, what we are doing together is something that is extremely unique. It's one of the first examples of taking something from the blockchain in an NFT sale, and ultimately, again, the proceeds are not going to be spent on the asset itself, but ultimately giving access to NFT holders to something in real life that they could help to shape and build. I think it's just super special and super interesting, and I think it's, again, we're all kind of, so not to go on a podium or a soliloquy necessarily, but I just like to wax poetic on this thing.
Beautiful.
It's super special, man. It's super special.
Honestly, it was beautiful, and yeah, I absolutely hit me up, and yeah, I am a media guy for life, and I just wanted to say that because I see in the boards and people are confused at where the value is, and the value is being able to be a part of that club. And that's what I think I'm gripping, and I just wanted to make sure that was the soul of what this is, right? Like, hey, you got a golden ticket to the best club in the world. And to me, that's why I'm here, right?
Yeah, I think that, there's the opportunity to be a member of that club, absolutely, 100%. You're right. And I think that that's the main value that people see. But it's also very important, and I don't mean to pass over the club thing, because that's what we're doing together, guys. We're going to build this club, and we're going to have the opportunity for everybody who's an NFT holder to be members at, like you said, TV sales whiz. Like this is going to be one of the best clubs on the planet, right? So yeah, you have that golden ticket, you have that opportunity. There's going to be so much value before that, though, which is really what we're working on. Because it's not to purchase a golf club and to like build it out and everything. It's going to take a little bit of time, right? Like realistically, it will. But we are going to do it together. But in the meantime, what's important to us is that we keep the community together and we give you all real world value for holding that NFT, right? So if that's like incredible perks at 5-iron golf, right?
Yeah,
That's
well
great.
said. Mhm.
Coop, and I asked him to do it. He sent out to the community the other day, are you interested in having a golf course in the metaverse? Right? Like that was not in exchange for the physical course. That's in the meantime as we sort out the physical course. Like I talked to the owner and founder or CEO and founder of Golf Plus, which is like the most epic VR golf experience, and he wants to build out a golf course for us. Like these are the types of perks we want to bring along the way to bridge the NFT holdership and actual value in the real world. And then ultimately, we're going to have a golf club together. So I think that, yeah. So what you're saying is absolutely. It's like if you own an NFT, if we get that golf course done, and once we have the membership available, like that's going to be your ticket to be able to get membership there. But there's so much value we want to bring to the community, like in the interim, because like we're super dedicated. Like when I tell you, all of us have been working our asses off to like provide as much value to NFT holders as we can, like working over the holidays and everything. Like it's so true. And we just want to bring like an incredible experience and something totally different than what's been in the NFT space before, which has been like, okay, you drop an NFT, it's a piece of artwork, it's a digital collective, and that's all you get, right? And there's a speculative market and goes up and down and all these different things. We want to bring something a little bit more interesting and important to our membership.
Yeah, and I think that to me, the use case of actual use cases was so attractive to me. Not only the fact that like golf is something I love, but being on the sidelines, watching this take place, and then seeing something like, oh yeah, here we go, this makes sense. So, well said and well put. Your answer was very encouraging. So good luck. I'll be around.
Thanks, bud. I appreciate it.
Yep.
Yeah, and Dom, I agree with that. And I think what Dom means too is like, guys, we're going out, we're buying a damn golf course, and we're gonna create like the most incredible experience anybody's ever had. We're committed to that. But I think what Dom's saying is three weeks in, we also want to provide tangible benefits as we're on the journey to.
I'll go if that's cool, Lindsay. Yeah, I just want to.
Douglas, what's up? I'm sorry. Good to see you again, man.
What's going on, guys? Sorry, my voice sucks right now. I'm going through it, but I wanted to stay on and see what gets talked about. But I just kind of want to touch on what you guys are talking about with the whole value thing. Me coming from a place where I have no Web3, just getting into crypto. This is my first NFT. Just by being involved in this community and talking to people and seeing what their interests are and what I could do to help, like I've already seen the value of it myself personally, just by working with all of you, hearing the ideas and, seeing what we can come up with down the road. So I think you're right, Dom, with the whole point should just be like, basically enjoy the ride, like step into the community with like open arms and an open mind and see what you can pull out of it. Because you may not think you have skills that can be applied in this field, but I was proven wrong by that, and I'm sure a lot of you guys have more skills than you think. And I think if we all work together, we are going to make the greatest golf course that has ever been on this planet. Like I really do believe that now. Like I'll just bring up the point where I don't know, Barb's the guy who does the mulligan. He reached out to me. He was like, "Hey, you seem to be like chiming in a lot. Like people seem to cling to your comments." I was like, "He's like, would you want to do like a spotlight piece for some of our like higher, like more known members?" And I was like, "Holy shit, that's a really good idea." Like I'm creative enough where I could do that. I couldn't like run a DeFi thing or make my own NFT, but I could talk to people and ask them questions. So he brought up that point, and I was like stoked. So I feel a lot more involved in the community ever since then, and I'm just gonna keep going with it. And I think everybody in here, if we all do the same thing, this thing's gonna thrive. Yeah, I agree. And I think all these discords they help. I don't know if making it on 8 o'clock on a Friday helped for a lot of people. Maybe that's why we only had 300 members. Maybe like I don't know. Yeah, okay. Again, that's just my lack of knowledge of Discord, but you know, I know I'm thinking everyone's gonna be in here, which they should, because this I think this thing's gonna take off. We all just keep putting in the effort. But guys, I'm gonna go. I appreciate you guys having me up always, and I look forward to the coming months and all the announcements that are gonna be made. So I love this community, and I just gotta try to get better right now. I'm sick as hell. All right, guys. All right, guys. Take care.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Douglas is awesome. You could just hear his voice in the group chats. He's just such a, I don't know, a good energy and everything. Guys, I love everything from tonight. And I really love how the value of the NFT and it being the membership, and that's really shaping up and all the communities come together. I really love the dev chat. I think it was an awesome idea. One thing I was just a little gray on that I was hoping we could just chat through to get clarity is I understand the NFT side, but to actually make this happen, we're going to need to buy a golf course. And for that to happen, we're going to have to separately, not anyone in here specifically is going to be involved, but raise $50 million and then use that to buy a golf course. So my question is for those investors who are investors who do have a expected return, because it is a security, how do they get their return? Where does their return come from? If I'm an investor, where's my whimsical 100x on that investment in the golf course?
Lindsay, actually, that's a great question, and to be honest, we don't have an answer for that yet.
Sure.
Honestly, not because it's not something that needs to be thought about and addressed, simply because we're 3 weeks in.
Sure,
And
sure.
our focus has been on the NFT drop, trying to get DAO infrastructure in place, which is a heck of an undertaking. Trying to provide tangible value to the membership as quickly as possible. This that type of structure, we're just not there yet.
I get that. I mean, it's probably a placeholder on a revenue slide. But I think it's important that we actually, as a DAO, do have transparent discussions about things that even aren't directly the DAO entity, because I think it's important to discuss where the expectation of revenue for those investors come from and how the DAO is probably related to that as we're the golf members of that course. And two, just I think at the end we just want to make this successful. And so whether that's directly or indirectly, I think we can still pull our brains together to contribute to those discussions. And I'd rather see it kind of be collaborative like the DAO has been than just the DAO's 10,000 people collaborating on these awesome ideas. And then the other entity is 10 people. If that makes sense.
It totally does. And again, one of the only thing we've talked about really thoughtfully between the two entities, meaning outside of raises and how that all works and the combination of the two and things of those things, is basically if the two organizations don't, because we don't really see them as two organizations, because they have to be combined in order to have this thing be successful. Because Lindsay, to your point, well, what we all want is for this to be successful. And based on the enthusiasm and the interest in the golf world in what we're all doing, the chances of success are extremely high. We're not just a group of people that have come up with a really cool concept that bridges blockchain and the real world. It's we have such a powerful community that a lot of folks are taking notice of and want to be involved with. So I think our chances of success are extremely high when it comes to any type of NFT activity in this area. But the two have to work. It's not they have to work together. They have to work in concert with one another, right? They have to be they have to be able to very easily work with one another. because without the community, there's no project. It's just the whole thing doesn't work, right?
I
Like,
totally
you know,
agree. And I think, I know this isn't everybody, but like with what I do for my day to day, we like just dork out on like the weed tweet of like org structures and things like that. So like for them to work long term together, like there's like these weird nuances of like if one entity has like a equity and has a cap table, like how do we ensure that like the people that are interested in the DAO like maintain power long term? There's 1,000 ideas like that. Like that wasn't actually a question, but I agree with you, and I think they have to be. And I think there's a lot of like concepts to explore early on to make sure that we don't like shoot ourselves in the foot with that long term vision.
yeah, I think there's a million nuances to
Totally.
any type of endeavor, right? Like even if it's a very well established one, we're all
Totally.
together on the leading edge of something entirely new. And there's a lot that we need to work through together with the ultimate goal of really operating like the greatest golf and leisure club that we could possibly come up with one another, right? And there's there's going to be a lot of things that we sort out along the way, but I agree with you. I think that all the organizations need to work in concert with one another. Everybody needs to feel involved and heard, and if we can do those things, like we're going to create like something extremely special.
Yep, I agree. Look forward to chatting about that as actually the other side starts up.
And Lindsay, it's always great to hear from you on the podium, man. Really appreciate your thoughts.
Yeah, of course, man. Cheers. Thanks,
All right.
guys.
Cool. All right, guys. I promised my wife, I put the 3 kids to bed and then she went to bed. I promised her I'd come up and hang with her for a little while. So I got to hop off, guys.
Yeah, have a great
Thanks
night.
for the feedback, Jim, as well. Appreciate it, man.
Absolutely. Thanks, everyone. It's been an awesome experience over these last few weeks. We're just getting started.
Oh, I have one more thing. Web3, 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 Web3.
Web3. Is this a Web3 project?
What is Web3?
Yeah, Doug is working on Web 4, so when he has that done, we're gonna let you guys know. It's gonna be really cool. You'll be the first to know, I promise. Make sure you tell your friends in the Discord. Yeah, it's gonna be lit.
Yeah, thanks for bringing me on. I do have the Rona right now, so my voice is a little shot too. But yeah, thanks for connecting with me on LinkedIn, Dom. I think that was part of the reason why this project interested me was you guys were willing to put your names in front of it too. And I think in this day and age of NFTs, we've all seen our handful of rug pulls and whatnot. So I think devs being willing to kind of put their names out there goes a long way. With that said, I think it is important to kind of focus in on that Miami or New York area. I'm a little biased because I'm from New York, New Jersey, but I think this can go a long way as far as partnerships and like events outside of just the golf course too. Which kind of leads me to my question: what type of partnerships do you guys kind of envision, kind of creating and building out as this project gets going?
Yeah, and I can touch on that too. Like we've got all types of plans. We've got a great, really experienced business development and partnerships team. And like we have had inbound from pretty much every golf and golf peripheral organization you can imagine, reaching out to us to see, there's a lot of interest, as you guys have seen from the news and the press that we've been getting on, what we're doing here. We have a really dedicated, cool community, and that is driving a lot of interest. So, whether it be online really cool stuff that we can do from our computers, from our phones with each other in, the quote unquote metaverse, or there be in real life experiences, meetups, things like that, and perks and benefits that are offered to, holders of the NFT. There's a lot coming, and we're doing a great job. And as soon as I know more about these things, you'll be the first to know. The Discord will find out first, and you have my word on that.
Awesome. Yeah, I think it would be clutch to kind of create some partnerships with some major restaurants and clubs even, and kind of get special access for members after, they're done playing their 18 or having a meal in the clubhouse, then they can go out on town too. So, excited to see what this brings. And, yeah, I mean, the other question I had, or I don't know if you guys can answer or not, is like, what type of other future expenses do you envision to, get a membership outside of just the NFT?
Can you repeat the question? I'm making pasta right now. This ran a little bit long.
No worries. What type of like other future expenses do you envision, to get a membership at whatever club you guys end up purchasing? It doesn't need to be a set number, but how many different, I guess you could say, fees or dues, or what type of structure at least.
There's so many variables there, that I can't really even estimate what we're looking at with that. Obviously we're going to do our best to provide like, the lowest fee structure, like highest possible value, especially for people who are here early. But I don't have any quantifiable answer to that.
No, that's fair. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, no problem, man.
Hey everyone, thanks for having me on. My stuff may be more of a little bit of a statement, maybe a question inside of it, but I just wanted to say I am super excited about this. The reason I am is because I feel like what we're doing here is helping to maybe redefine or set a new vision for the future of a country club. I mean, let's be honest, like millennials, Gen Z, that's kind of the next wave that's going to sweep through over the next 10 to 20 years, right? And so I think we have a really unique opportunity here to kind of show the golf world where the next generation is going, what they value in all of this. And I think one of the things that is probably going to be the most critical, and I think you guys have done just an amazing job on, is making sure that the communication in this DAO is open. Everyone feels comfortable being able to give an opinion and ideas, because I think what's going to define the success of this, let's just step forward to club created, people are going on experiences and everything like that, is that everyone still feels like they have a voice to be like, hey, like, we should really try to do XYZ. And we can actually work together as a group to make that happen. And it comes from experienced owners, people that have actually been part of it all, have actually gone to the course and experienced things. And it's really a more open model than we've ever really experienced before. And I think that's the thing that really just energizes me about all this. And so just wanted to give you guys props that everything that everyone stepped through tonight, from the legal questions to, hey, someone else is going to have actual physical ownership of this outside of just the people that own the NFT, and how are we going to be able to merge that and make sure we continue to have influence. I give you guys props for keeping it all in front of you. And again, as you said, doing it this fast is just an incredible endeavor. I think it's less than a month you've been able to generate all this excitement. So again, more of a statement than a question, but just wanted to throw all that kind of good vibes out there. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. And I got to thank you back, and everybody here is listening, and the rest of the community. It's absolutely not just us. It's the quality of the people who are in here and the energy. It's not just the team who makes it great. It's all of you. So I got to say thank you back for that.
Cheers. Have a great night, guys.
Thank you so much for speaking. All right, we'll move on to the next speaker. Abe, if you want to, there you go. Having trouble hearing you. All right, Abe, we're having trouble hearing you. We're just going to move on to the next guest. If you want to just troubleshoot that real quick. We apologize. Blodrent.
Yeah, these AirPods suck, I guess. Yeah, but now you hear me?
Yep. Sorry about the mispronunciation.
No, that's all my bad. Yeah, I just got a question in regards to member displacement when there was to be, like, if we were to actually purchase an existing course. What about current members? How do we just kick them out of their own course?
That's a good question. I imagine there's a variety of options there, whether we're looking at a public course, semi-public, private, I think that in a lot of instances, and how those clubs are governed, right? If we'd have to, part of the cost would be buying out the existing memberships. That's an equation that is going to be specific to the course that we do target. Ideally, we're going to be looking for obviously courses that have ownership that are interested in selling. So that will hopefully be a solved problem by the time we get around to purchasing that course. But I also defer that answer to some people who are more experienced on the team that we have working on the course selection and acquisition process.
Yeah, I kind of thought it might be a little bit late in the chat to get in, but figured I'd say it before I forgot it. But I appreciate the answer. Thank you.
No, thank you. Yeah, and this will be recorded, so we'll try to get you an answer on that.
Cool, deadly.
It's just blog agent. Like, you remember blogs from back in the day? That's all good, dude. It's just it's a crypto name, man. It's good with my crypto name. So yeah, so I kind of have like a question, a statement for you guys to react to. I think I want to see if you've heard this idea. So like, this idea that when NFTs first started getting hot in whatever, like let's say almost a year ago now, it was like these art-based NFTs, right? And now, with LinksDAO and, really Flyfish Club is the only other one I heard of. And honestly, I only heard of Flyfish Club because people in LinksDAO were kind of saying, that's what got them thinking about it, this kind of like NFT for access. And so and I think it's like more pronounced with the restaurant one. And if you guys don't know, like Flyfish Club is basically a restaurant that you need an NFT, you need to own the NFT to get into. But like the economics of it are challenging because it's like, what if not everyone who has the NFT goes to the restaurant? The restaurant still needs to make money. And so it's like, if you only limit your customer set to the NFT base, it's going to be economically challenging. And so and honestly, the answer to this came up in the LinksDAO chat, and it was confirmed by Flyfish Club, which is like, you can lease out the NFT. And so, it kind of all connects too, because it's like, oh, how are you going to buy a course for 50 million? The other guy's questions was like the investors. And so I think like a mechanism that helps solve that is like the NFT owners can lease out their kind of like right to access the club, or kind of like rent it out. So I was wondering if I just missed that, or has that like idea come up at all with the token holders?
Yeah. Great question. The idea has come up. It's a really interesting mechanism. I'm going to personally right now shy away from the word lease.
Fair enough.
For that. But
what's the right word?
That's a good question. The idea of allowing people to share or let other people use their access or to the membership or the course down the line to improve accessibility, especially because this is a geographically distributed group operating
exactly
looking to access a physical location. So that's a mechanism that we're definitely looking into. We want to make sure that however we go about doing that keeps our friends at the SEC happy as well. So there is a financial side to that we want to be really careful about. But we are definitely trying to make sure that every available opportunity to utilize your NFT and your eventual membership in the course is available to you as the NFT holder. So we're carefully looking at that, and we're gonna definitely try to provide a cool, good solution for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a solution for the corporation and the DAO too, because like if you only limit course usage to NFT holders and the course is in New York and you have a DAO member in Australia, like they're not going to be that likely to buy membership. And so, I mean, I think that's like part of the challenge. And so like if that person can, whatever it is, sort of extend the access to people that they, authorize, and it's like within the capacity of the course, like that kind of like that was kind of the bridge that allowed me to be like, all right, like you can limit membership to NFT holders only, but only if the NFT holders can extend access to the course on like their own terms. But
absolutely, and maybe there's a way through the actual corporation to have a mechanism to make that work. But we're definitely looking into it, and it's something I'm personally very interested in as well.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Again, have you seen any other sort of these like real world access NFTs? I mean,
No.
you're probably it's really LinksDAO and the Flyfish, right?
Yeah, it's us. We're there.
Cool, man. All right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's been super interesting. I appreciate all your guys' work and looking forward to see how the project goes. So thanks. I recognize both your guys' names now. You're doing a great job. So thanks a lot.
Awesome. Thanks, Blog Agent.
All right. Yeah. You'll see me around. You won't forget the name now.
Great.
All right. Later, guys.
Yeah. We're gonna go by a golf course, guys. This is a super awesome time. Thank you, Dom, for your super moderator skills. Obviously, we will still be in the Discord all weekend and next week and for the foreseeable future. So feel free to ask us any questions there. I wish I had some like exit music, like a radio show to play to be like da 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 da, links down. Da, da, da. Yeah, we we gotta have that. But yeah, I really appreciate all of you sticking around for this long, and we'll be in touch. So thanks again for stopping by.